Yeah, Rek'Sai especially is going to be cool here because you're going to have access to that Stonehenge again, which is going to be also fantastic against the Togekiss, which I would expect we see quite often here as well. Togekiss generally very tough to beat in the current meta unless you have the Aegislash, which is not on anyone's team here right now.
Let's go ahead and lock in, getting ready to go here. We have Feraligatr up against that Licky on the side of Chun. Shiny Licky at that. One thing to note here about the Feraligatr, as Sparklix is not Shadow, even though these Hydro Cannons are going to be doing a lot of damage on even energy, it might not be enough to knock out or threaten the knockout here. As you can see, this one still just keeping Licky in health, but trying to catch here the Shadow Ball, and it looks like it is successful. Great play by Sparklix.
This is a great play, of course. It is doing basically no damage, and you waste so much energy. Now, it's a fantastic catch here onto the Shadow Ball, and now we're gonna have Licky against Licky, but we have a lot of energy now on Chun's side, trying to save that up for later on. In comes the Quagsire, resisting the rollout from the Licky.
You saw the pause there too. He didn't want to throw the Shadow Ball into anything else, but this Quagsire coming in is going to take the full force of it here as the first one connects, and there's already another one loaded. Shadow Ball number 2 coming through here. No Protect Shield used on that Quagsire.
Yeah, no protection here. You're still going to be able to take down the Shadow Ball here quite easily, as you're going to have 2 Aqua Tails available for you. But is even 2 Aqua Tails going to be enough? You don't have the Shadow bonus on this Pokemon. This is going to be interesting, because you're going to see here, like, it's not going to be enough. You need to maybe reach out for the Stonehenge, but you're not going to have the time for that.
Going ahead now, throwing Aqua Tail number 2, maybe just thinking, hey, chip damage is better than no damage. I know that Body Slam is coming through soon here, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen here. Going ahead, throwing that Body Slam on the pretty low health Quagsire. No Protect Shield used at all by Quagsire in this, but it has done its job. It's gotten that Licky pretty low here, and now the switch timers are completely misaligned. You see Sparklix actually swapping back in the Feraligatr against the Azumarill. On paper, again, not that great of a matchup, but it does add up over time.
Yeah, here, again, Shadow Claw is going to be able to add up. And the Hydro Cannon, while it's resisted, it still does some respectable damage over the long period of time, as the Play Rough is not going to be enough. Play Rough is not going to be enough from this range. The Sparklix knows that as well. Lets the Play Rough go through. It's still going to put it low, though. Is it enough for Bubble Down? I don't think so.
Going ahead now, he's still got a full health Fortress in the back. Going ahead, throwing this other Hydro Cannon. We talked about chip damage earlier. We saw the Aqua Tails didn't do much to the Licky, even less here to an Azumarill with a heavy hitting attack. And Chun actually coming in with a Body Slam for that Feraligatr. Wants to get it completely out of the way. No Protect Shields used on Sparklix side. Still 2 Protect Shields left on both teams.
And we have a Fortress, which is going to enjoy those protections because you have so much damage with a Bug Bite. And we do see this Pokemon coming in now as well. But do you want to try to catch a move again? No, you're not. You're going to shield up the Shadow Ball because you want to protect this Pokemon. You have the option to debuff even the attack later on as well, so rather shield up now than later. And of course, we have now both players knowing both Pokemon on each side, and we see the stop out here trying to catch yet another move, but this was not working out.
Actually, this play here, that Chun going ahead, trying to just get up a ton of extra energy, not throwing any attack into the Licky, but that gives Sparklix a little bit of extra energy to throw a Body Slam and get the last shield. The real question is, will he be able to get to another? No, he's not. This Licky is loaded.
This Licky is nearly at 2 Shadow Balls. Do we see a shield here coming up straight away for the Sparklix? Yes, we do. And you're not going to be able to reach another Shadow Ball. You only have a Body Slam currently stored, and in comes the Azumarill. Are you going to get to the Rock Tomb here? You have the Rock Tomb stored, and you debuff the Azumarill here. And this is the thing as well. You are not worried really about the charge move damage. Both charge moves of Azumarill going to be resisted, and so Fortress is in a prime position to sweep this battle.
Going ahead now, it's really only that bubble damage is doing much at all to the Fortress. Going for the heavier hitting Play Rough. It's not going to be doing too much to this Steel-type Pokemon. However, it's also debuffed here. Sparklix looks like he is indeed in a good position, but he's still got to get a little bit of that Licky and the rest of the Azumarill out of the way, just chomping away with these Bug Bites.
This is now very interesting. As the player is coming through, this is doing quite a bit of damage. There's only a Body Slam stored on the Licky. We have to remember this. Is this Licky getting off the move first? The Licky is going to get the Body Slam off. This might be enough to knock out the Fortress here. For the 1 HP, Licky is going to be able to knock down this Shadow Fortress.
It looks like the Fortress is standing, but not for long. This Body Slam connects, and with 15 seconds left, Chun takes game number 1. Very impressive plays there.
Very impressive plays there. You had a lot of resisted damage against the Fortress there just now, but Fortress was able to take quite a few, but at the end, it was just a little bit too much.
The hard part is, I think, for Sparklix in that scenario is he knew that there was a little bit left on that Licky. And you saw how much energy that he had stored on the fortress. At that point, maybe he was thinking it could have been better just to get that Azumarill out of the way, so then he could comfortably tank a body slam from that Licky Licky.
Yeah, I do think he tried to just get a little bit more energy there in order to try to have two moves out at the same time, because he was expecting another Shadow Ball on the Licky Licky, but Licky Licky only had that body slam. But at the end, that was just enough to knock out the fortress, because Azumarill did the hard work basically. Azumarill did the hard work of trying to get this Pokemon low enough that a body slam is enough to knock it out.
Azumarill did what Azumarill does, just going ahead and taking all of that energy, supporting its teammate there, and Licky Licky comes in for the win, taking game number 1.
So, how are those players adapting now? I'm curious if we're gonna see more Fortress action. Maybe Fortress in the lead could be a very interesting shout in the current meta, because there's no direct answer, I feel like, on Chun's side either. Like, the best Pokemon maybe would be, I guess, the Corviknight, resisting the Bug Bite there. But then again, it's still going to chunk away a little bit. So I feel like Fortress is quite safe for the TheSparklix side. I do think he needs to kind of rely on this Pokemon.
Yeah, I think Fortress looked really good from, like we said, it was just like kind of in the end, trying to save up for 2, knowing that he would win Charge Attack priority on both the Azumarill and the Licky Licky. It was not a, you know, a play that was out of question. It just, unfortunately for him, the switch timer was up in time, and being able to get that Fortress low enough to take it out took game number 1 for Chun. Of course, if you play it a little bit differently, it could have ended up a little differently as well. The real question is, like you said, how do they adapt for this other game? Because Chun just needs one more game. So far, we've only had 2-0 sweeps on stream. Will he be able to do that here?
I'm curious on if the TheSparklix maybe wants to run something like the Togekiss here. We saw, of course, the Quagsire, which, again, of course, you have Stone Edge there still, but you're going to be able to resist at least the Mudshot damage there, and you do that, like, a lot of damage back. And then you have, like, the Licky Licky, and you kind of need to deal with this Pokemon. I do expect, again, the Licky Licky is going to be on both sides in this battle, because it is so safe into both teams.
Yeah, of course, the number 1 Pokemon, who would have thought? Looks like we are jumping straight into it. Game number 2, here we go. We have that Shadow Fortress up again, once again against the Azumarill. This is a much better position, I think, if you're TheSparklix here. And if you're Chun, maybe you just go ahead and just save up a bunch of energy on this Azumarill.
This is, I think, the play that Chun is going to try to go for, because, yeah, the player is not going to go a long way, but you have such a safe answer. And here, as you see as well, the Rock Tomb is coming in, which I do think Chun is quite happy about, because he wants to get rid of the energy here, and then you can still safely swap out into your Licky Licky, where we already talked about there is no real answer for it, and so you have all the energy for the late game with the Azumarill.
I like this play, trying to catch that Shadow Ball. This time Chun says, nuh-uh, not gonna happen on my watch. Throwing the Body Slam. This time still no Protect Shield from the TheSparklix side. And keep in mind, now he's got energy on the Fortress, while there's also energy on the Azumarill. So this could come into play later on. In the meantime, we're gonna see one of the most, question mark, interesting mirror matches in the game.
It's very interesting. I'm still waiting for a player to run actually Hyper Beam Licky Licky, just in order to make it a little bit more interesting. But I do think that Shadow Ball and Body Slam might be the choice for most of those players here. But yeah, it would be interesting to have this matchup maybe a little bit shorter with the Hyper Beam, but Body Slam is definitely the safer play.
Yeah, going in, welcome to the Slam, as the number 3, I believe, is coming through here. Both of these Pokemon just sticking their tongues out at each other. A quick pivot now out into the Azumarill. It's going to catch a Body Slam here, and I believe that you also tried to click his own attack, so we'll have to see if that was able to release here into that Licky Licky.
Like, here's the thing as well for Chun, like, the worst Pokemon you can encounter, you already encountered with the Azumarill. It's going to be that Fortress, which can resist the charge move damage, but now you already have, a lot of seconds of your switch clock, because you had 2 charge moves coming in, and in comes now Stunfisk, where the Ice Beam is going to do some super effective damage against it.
Going ahead now, it looks like that first one will be able to go through. There are 2 Protect Shields left. First one used on this Unova Stunfisk. TheSparklix has not seen the 3rd Pokemon of Chun's side there, which is going to be that Quagsire, which does fairly decently into both Fortress and the Unova Stunfisk, but we'll have to see, because he still has a lot of health left on both, and that Fortress has a attack loaded.
Yeah, the Fortress hasn't attack loaded, but the Quagsire looks to be in a prime position to do a lot of damage here. As the Mud Bomb is coming in, we see an immediate no-shield. It's kind of an interesting play as well, because it's most likely the hardest hitting move that's going to hit the Quagsire, but it's not actually doing that much damage either, because you have only, of course, the Sand Tomb that can hit you from that other Pokemon from the Fortress there. So yeah, at the end of the day, you can play it the way you want to play it, as the Aqua Tail is going to do. Now, some solid damage, not knocking it out, but getting it into the deep red health.
I say going ahead, I'm just trying to get as much chip damage off as possible. Gets that first Protect Shield now from Chun's side. He knows how valuable this Quagsire is. He's already seen the whole lineup. He now has a very low health. The first Protect Shield being used, now going able and getting this Sand Tomb, which is going to lower the defenses of the Quagsire here. But Chun might be able to just swap out and be able to get that release here as the Licky comes in.
And here we see the downside actually of Fortress, because if the opponent can swap out with those debuffs, the debuffs don't actually really help you at all. And here now, we're gonna see actually the no-shield coming up as well against that Sand Tomb. It's going to be a very close battle, because that Fortress has still some unfinished business here. The Fortress wants to still fight for the victory, as they have 2 Aqua Tails stored, but isn't Aqua Tail even enough? Fortress is quite bulky.
Oh, Blast Shield used here on the side of Sparklix here, going to be able to see if he can get some more damage, and there's still Protect Shield left on Chun's side. Aqua Tail number 2 coming through. Only one of these is Shadow, so like you said, is this Aqua Tail enough to knock out? It is pretty low, not even close.
It's not close, but there's a Sand Tomb coming through. No, the Sand Tomb is going to get the final shield from Chun's side. And in comes Mose straight away, the Stunfisk. But can Stunfisk do it? It's going to be very, very close. There's going to be more Thundershock damage coming through, but now in comes the Aqua Tail. The Aqua Tail to knock out the Stunfisk. And there's only 1 HP left on the Fortress.
Fortress does have Bug Bite. It is a 1-turn fast attack, but even though it's debuffed, it might be a little too much to chomp through as the one Mutsup goes through, and now Chun, once again, a 2-0 victory on stream.
We're not only 3 for 3 for the Fortress running Bug Bite, we're also 3 for 3 for 2 O's on the stream so far. Players are quite fast here. We haven't seen a win from one side then as well. We only have 2 O's so far. Interesting if it's going to continue, but